to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast, Season 2, Episode 10, The Cricket Game. In this episode, when Regina is accused of killing a fairy tale character, Emma thinks she is innocent. Meanwhile, Prince Charming and Snow White plan the evil queen's execution. I'm your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is
Martha Southgate
and
Rob Southgate. Execution? Uh-oh.
Okay, wait. Did you guys love this episode?
Totally.
No.
You didn't?
No.
Why didn't you love it?
I don't like when people get framed.
No. I mean, I didn't like the subject matter as far as that goes, but I thought this was a really good episode.
It was well made, of course. Well acted, all that. Well written.
Well,
but
there was a lot of twists and turns, and I felt terrible for Regina, but it was cool how they contrasted. You saw her as the evil queen, and she was terrible.
And she deserved it.
But then, as
Here,
Regina, she didn't. But you understand why the characters are reacting that way. If they didn't show it that way, you would have thought, they're being so mean to Regina, you know, she's trying to change and all that. But when you see how heinous she was, in their minds, they're remembering all that stuff pretty relevantly.
How are they going to expose Cora? Like, Cora is
Well, they don't know she's there.
I know, that's what I'm saying. How are they... She is so stealthy and she's so powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna...
My guess, if I had to make an assumption, Hook. What do you think, Molly?
Why do you think Captain Hook?
Well, I think Hook is going to betray her. I think he's going to reveal that she's there.
Oh, yeah.
To get Emma.
Will.
Right.
Because he likes Emma.
Or she was as Cora talking to Hook outside of the pirate ship, and then they walked in.
Probably.
Somebody could see.
Some, like the one sailor guy, but they
turned him into a fish.
They turned him into a fish.
Mm-hmm.
At least they were nice about turning him into fish because they gave him water. I thought they were gonna just leave him up there.
Yeah.
Fish. And then he would die.
Yeah.
So
but they kicked him in the water?
Yeah.
Get out of here, fish.
Well, that was right when they arrived in
like
Storybrooke. And Hook wants to part ways at that point, and she won't let him.
Right.
And
that's why I think he's going to betray her, because he doesn't want to be involved with Cora.
Mm-hmm.
And she made that huge pirate ship invisible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And she's very, very powerful.
The one guy's like, "Wow, nice trick you have." Are you a guy from one of the guys from were you a magician from our world? And then boom, she turns him into fish and kicks him in the water.
He talked too much.
Yeah. Take that, fishy.
He annoyed her.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Who was that character?
I don't know. Do you think he's actually a fish, or do you think maybe he's what's that yellow fish from Little Mermaid?
Flounder?
Flounder. Maybe he's Flounder.
You don't believe it?
No. Well, you know what? Maybe he's nobody that we know, or maybe he will turn out to be somebody. We'll find out.
Maybe somebody will be like, "Where's this guy?"
Yeah, where's Flounder at? See, I know it's Flounder.
Well, she has now killed 2 people that we know of that we didn't know who they were, but the fisherman, and then she killed whoever Dr. Hopper was, whoever she turned.
Oh, right, whatever body that was.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been anybody. Anybody, get it?
Wow.
Yep.
I think it might have been Red because she was right there.
Who, that she killed?
No,
No,
I don't think
Red's
they
not
would have
dead.
killed such a major character.
Red's not dead, baby. Red's not dead. You like my rhyming? I'm a poet, and I know it.
That's a reference from Pulp Fiction, Molly, except it's Zed.
Yeah, it's Zed.
Zed's not dead.
No.
Or no, it is. Zed's dead.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Yes.
See?
Hopefully you're not going to see that movie.
Yeah, right.
Until you're about 20.
Do you know when Molly was first born and we came home with her from the hospital the first day and you had to go up and get in bed because, I just had a baby.
No, I had surgery.
I just had surgery. I sat on the couch and watched the television version of Pulp Fiction while I held her. So her very first movie that she was exposed to was Pulp Fiction. I had the sound off, though.
Wow.
And it was the television version, so there was nothing to see.
Oh,
But you were in the room with Pulp Fiction. Isn't that special?
No.
Yep.
It's abusive.
No, it's
It's abusive. Somebody called DCFS.
A newborn baby
Exposed kind of to Pulp
sort
Fiction
of, but
with the
not
sound
to the
off.
volume or...
And it's the TV version?
Yeah. And not with it, and not, I couldn't really open her eyes.
Right.
Well, no, actually you were like 5 days old by the time we got home.
Right.
Okay, it doesn't matter, for crying out loud. None of these people want to hear this.
No, we're getting way off track.
Okay,
here.
should we talk about Fairy Tale Land?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Regina hears that Snow White and Prince Charming have defeated King George. She sees out the window that Rome was burning.
Not out the window. She was sitting there on, like, the hill.
Somewhere.
Looking out over the thing, and the whole kingdom is burning. And then one of her guys runs up and says, Charming and Snow White have defeated King George. Yes. And, what are you going to do now? And she's like, it doesn't affect me. I'm doing my thing.
She tells him that she wants him to hunt them down, and she wants Snow White alive. So that's actually...
Oh, okay. You know what? That was so long ago, and this was such a long episode. There was so much in this episode. But
instead, Regina found her, or so she thought.
Right. No, Snow White found Regina.
Regina thought she found her.
Oh, right.
Snow White tricked her.
Right, that's right. Snow was running and Regina found her, but then it turned out to be a trick, and the blue fairy swooped in and froze Regina.
Well,
it was a test.
Snow offered Regina a chance to surrender. Surrender, Dorothy.
Yeah.
And Regina refused, of course, because she's Regina.
If Admiral Akbar had been there, he would have said, "It's a trap." That's a Star Wars reference.
And then she tried to she was trying to kill Snow White, and that's when the blue fairy swooped in and froze her arm, so she couldn't do it.
Right.
What? No.
She froze her body.
Well, it started with her arm.
Mom, you know what happened?
Yeah.
What?
That wasn't when she was trying to stab her. That was when they met in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Right. She was attacking.
Yeah, she was trying to kill her.
Right.
Yeah, but inside
I don't mean the other stabbing.
Right. There's so many stabbings. We're getting confused.
Oh,
so, all I can say is, it was a trap. So,
it was a trap.
Okay.
So they're debating what to do with Regina, and they decide they must kill the queen. They're going to just kill her.
Yes.
And
well, it's that council where you see Granny and Red and Snow White and Charming.
In Fairy Tale Land.
Right.
We're still in
and
Fairy
Jiminy
Tale
Cricket.
Land.
And they're deciding what are they going to do. And they come to the realization the only thing they can do is to kill the queen.
Off with a head.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... Even there, Snow White doesn't look like she's totally buying into it. Like, yes, let's do that. So then when they show them about to execute her, they have her tied up and they say...
Well, first her dad comes to see her.
Oh, right. Go ahead. I forget what he says. I know that he kind of talks to her about... Well, okay. You know what he talks to her about? I was going to say to have you do it. Now I'm doing it. What he says to her is that she should come clean. She should be honest. That if she is like that, if she says she's really sorry and she's honest, they're going to not execute her. And then we see her tied to the stake, and she starts giving a speech just like that. They ask if she has any final words, and that she does. She starts saying, I'm regretful and everything.
Do you remember her speech?
And then do you remember what she says?
But I'm regretful that I hurt everybody, and that I didn't hurt more people.
Right, she turns way evil.
And that I didn't kill Snow White.
Yeah.
Yes, so evil.
And Snow White stops the execution.
Right. And that was great, too, because they shot the arrows, and the blue fairy stops the arrows just before they hit her chest.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and then there was another moment there when they were taking her in, and she kind of looked at Snow White, and it was kind of that confused, like, why did you save me? But they never said anything. But you can see the seeds of what we see in Storybrooke kind of starting there. Because Regina wasn't an evil character.
No.
She is now, but maybe she's, making another Star Wars reference. Maybe she's like Darth Vader when he started to turn back once the evil was starting to wear off a little bit.
Or like Jessica Rabbit. Maybe she's just drawn that way.
Oh, she's drawn?
Who's Jessica Rabbit?
She's from Roger Rabbit. This is a movie that, the second movie you saw when you came home with the sound off. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
So, Snow says, I knew her when she was good.
Right.
And I believe that she can be redeemed, essentially. I'm paraphrasing.
I assume so. Either that or we have represented the crappiest script ever.
Rumpelstiltskin's sitting on her throne. And
I said, get your grimy self off my throne.
Yeah, right.
Did. Well, he'll leave it nice and glittery.
Yeah.
Gold. But everyone's gone, and it's just Snow White and Rumpelstiltskin. And he says, how do you plan to redeem her? And then he wants to help. He offers his assistants, of
Yes.
course, because
And
he's
that's what he
always got
does.
an angle. Snow wants to be alone with Regina when she's in jail.
Yep.
That was a scary scene because you know what she's capable of. And
Yes.
Snow White lets her go. And just as she's letting her go, what does Regina do?
Yep.
Chokes her.
She chokes her, and then she takes that knife, and she stabs her in the gut.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Snow White's dead. Series is over.
No, what happened?
And it was fine. There's no blood, no nothing.
Why?
And she pulled it out. The blue fairy did a curse.
No, Rumpelstiltskin.
Good save.
Yeah, it was a
Rumpelstiltskin's
protection spell.
Magic protected Snow, and Regina.
Only in that round, though.
Right.
That luckily David, Prince Charming, and some of the others were there to witness it.
Right.
And so Regina was then banished.
Right. So they didn't kill her, but they did banish her from the kingdom.
And they said that she is, as long as they're in their land, Regina can't hurt them.
Right.
The magic protects them, and she can't kill them as long as they're in their land.
Right. Right.
So Rumpelstiltskin.
Right. When he makes a point, as long as we're in this land.
Exactly. This
Right.
land is your land.
So it's a big
This land is
lay-in
my
that
land.
he's doing there, that it's here.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, let's go somewhere else and you can do some harm.
He does say that because he comes to see Regina, and
That's how the curse started.
and it's Snow White and Prince Charming's wedding day. Exactly how the curse started, Molly. And he says you can never harm them in this land, but you can always harm them in another land.
Right.
And that's when they decided to create Storybrooke.
Yep, and this is where we see once again that Mr. Gold is the one orchestrating all of it.
Yep.
He's planting the seeds. He's the one making it happen.
So what did you guys? So we have Hook and Cora arrive in Storybrooke. We know that.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about Storybrooke. That kind of wrapped up what was happening.
Emma and Henry. Oh my gosh, was this a funny and embarrassing scene?
Oh my gosh, they were.
Emma and Henry walked in while Snow and David were canoodling in bed.
Kissing in bed.
We'll call them Snoochie Boochies.
So
And Henry's like, what are you guys doing? And Emma's
he
like,
says, it's the middle of the day. Why are you in bed?
Emma gets all embarrassed and she says, I'm going to make tacos.
They were making tacos for their party that night.
At which point I wrote on here, tacos.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me want
tacos.
And David gave my favorite line of the episode when he says, it's impressive we could still provide her with a few traumatic childhood memories at this stage of the game.
Yeah. That's excellent.
That was such a great line. And
it's so funny.
He delivered it far better than I did.
Yeah, I would say.
And you're really, and he's also doing it for Henry.
Yes.
Right. So they have their party, and Emma and Henry bring the tacos, and Regina shows up with a casserole.
And it was awkward with lasagna.
With lasagna, yes. It wasn't just a casserole. It was a casserole dish with lasagna.
And
to be specific,
what did
for
Grumpy
you two.
do when she walked in?
He's like, I forgot what he said.
Oh my gosh, what did he grab? He pulled a knife on her.
Oh, yeah.
Regina walks into the party and Grumpy runs over to the counter, grabs a sharp knife, and
But he used it to cut some lasagna.
No, he wasn't. And Emma said, I invited her.
Right.
Henry wanted her to be here.
That's where Grumpy... yeah.
I love this scene when she gave him a piece of lasagna and he said, what's your secret ingredient? Poison.
Yeah.
Do you remember what Regina said?
And she's like, chili powder. It gives it a nice
she said
kick.
red pepper flakes.
Yeah, it gives it a nice kick.
So Regina...
Although I don't know if I'd want to... I don't know if I'd trust her with something with a nice kick.
No.
Would you? Still not so trustful.
Regina ended up leaving, and it was awkward.
She's really hurt.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
But then she does what she usually does.
Well,
and
wait a minute.
starts
She
fight.
leaves, and Emma knows. Emma's the one that invited her. Emma runs out there, and she's like, you don't need to leave. But then she lashes out at Emma.
Yeah.
Because she's hurt, and she's angry, and she's going to fall back on that.
But first she's trying to act nice, and she's taking advantage of Emma's kind nature at the moment, and she says, I would like to see Henry more.
Right.
And can he come and stay over once in a while? And Emma says no.
Yeah.
You know, her first instinct is no. And she said, you've parented him for like 5 minutes.
Right.
I had him, for 10 years.
Right.
And then Emma
that's when she gets mad.
But then Emma kind of softens because she says, well, you know what? Actually, Dr. Hopper did say that you've been trying and you'd saved our lives and whatever. And
then she goes crazy.
Yeah, she's not so happy with Dr. Hopper. She also, what I was going to say that she calls Dr. Hopper Bug. I thought that was really funny when she's like, hey, Bug, you shouldn't have told. But before that, there's a really key moment where we see Cora and Hook. And we find out that Cora was doing this to break Regina.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking everyone in town is being a jerk to him and everything, but actually Cora is still like manipulating the situation. We don't know what she's doing to make everybody do this, but she is the one hurting Regina.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And causing this. Then we see Regina with Dr. Hopper when she calls him Bug, and they have a fight, but not, he's just like, hey, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I love when he says, I got my degree for this, and she goes, you got your degree from a curse.
Yes.
It's like, you didn't really go to school there, Bug.
Yeah.
But then Red comes up.
Mm-hmm. He's like, is anything wrong?
Yeah. So now
go take yourself a walk.
Yeah, I think that Cora orchestrated that, too. She manipulated to get Red there to see the fight so that now she can lay blame.
They have a motive.
Right.
And Regina looks at Dr. Hopper and says, you're lucky I've changed.
Right. So the next time we see him, we see Dr. Hopper at his house, and Pongo is there, and Regina comes in, and Pongo starts going crazy. Mm-hmm. And Hopper's like, Regina.
Right.
And
she
walks up.
Regina.
And she kills him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Cora the whole time. She changed
but it's not Dr. Hopper, we find out
Well, that's later, right. We find out later that it's not Dr. Hopper that she killed.
We don't know who it was.
No, we don't know who it was, but what happened to Dr. Hopper in reality?
Well, in Storybrooke
reality.
Where did they find him? He's locked up in a ship.
Right, he's in the boat of the pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
He was going on politics.
I have no idea what you're saying.
That thing you do when you're a kid and you hold your tongue and you say, I was born on a pirate ship?
And then in a pirate ship.
So,
well, so going back,
did I
after
just
we
take us off on a tangent.
Yeah, but after we see Dr. Hopper killed,
mm-hmm.
I mean, we skip to the end, and we know it's Cora, and we know that Dr. Hopper's not killed, but the rest of the episode, it's all circumstantial evidence that Regina killed Hopper.
Well, Emma and Henry see Pongo, and he's going crazy. He's barking up a storm. Ruby says there's something wrong, and Emma says, how do you know? And then she says, never mind, wolf thing.
Yeah, right.
But they go...
So they go, and that's where they find Dr. Hopper's body.
Yes, and they know, okay, so he's dead, and then they bring Regina in for questioning. And clearly Regina's been framed, but they don't know that.
Right.
And
they ask a question about it, and they tell her that Dr. Hopper is dead. And I love this scene because Charming and Snow are just convinced it's Regina that killed him. Uh-huh. When she says, Dr. Hopper's dead, and Regina looks up, she's like, what?
Yeah.
Emma knew, because that's Emma's power. She knows when people are lying. She knew immediately that she didn't know anything about it. So then she's like, we've got to let her go.
Right.
And they don't want to do it. And she's like, she's innocent.
They also have Ruby, who saw Regina walk into his office.
Right.
So, I mean, we have a motive. We have a witness. And they find that
Regina's file is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's all looking like Regina.
It's not looking good for Regina at this point. And Snow and David fully believe she's guilty, but Emma thinks she's been framed and explains why, and she convinces them enough that they say, okay, we'll kind of follow this through with you. And they go to see Mr. Gold.
Right, and they bring Pongo with.
And Mr. Gold, what does he use to show them what Pongo's memories are?
He uses the dream catcher that that she stole for her and Neil.
Right.
In another episode.
Yes, good point.
And what do they see with the Dreamcatcher? What do they see with the Dreamcatcher?
What'd she say?
Oh, what did you say, honey?
Neil, when she found it, when she stole it, he said, we better keep this here.
Yeah,
He wanted it.
So what did they see when they looked in the Dreamcatcher?
They saw Pongo's memories.
Right, and they saw Regina kill Dr. Hopper. At least that's what it looked like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Emma, David, and Snow White then go and confront Regina, and she says, "Oh, you're trusting Mr. Gold. You're trusting Rumpelstiltskin's magic." And Snow White says, "No, we used Emma's magic."
Right.
And Regina says, "Oh, you can use magic."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big shock for her. So they tried.
Well, they do a setup again, like they're gonna do something to her to trap her, right? And the blue fairy comes out of nowhere and starts to freeze her, and she just deflects it. She's like, "What? You thought that was going to work on me
again?
Again?"
Uh-huh.
I was doing a dramatic pause there with the again, but you didn't have the patience for it. I take it.
Like
again?
Nope. And then Regina goes off in a puff of purple smoke.
Yep. Just like Cora always does.
And they have to tell Henry.
Yes.
That his
yes. And then Emma tells tells Henry about Hopper and Regina.
And Regina sees Emma tell him, and she's in the car crying.
Oh, I felt so bad for her.
And there you go. That's the whole episode. Cora left Hook a gift, and it's Dr. Hopper. And what they're so we still don't know who she actually killed.
Right.
And we
don't know who the fish guy is.
Dr. Hopper, they're saying, is going to tell them whatever secrets they need to know.
Right.
And it's in order for Hook to be able to get Rumpelstiltskin.
Right.
And in order
his
for
crocodile,
Cora,
as he keeps calling him.
Yeah, because she's fine doing. Cora's doing just fine on her own, ruining Regina's life.
Yes, she is.
But Dr.
Hooper?
Dr. Hook.
Dr.
Hook. Captain Hook isn't doing quite as well with Rumpelstiltskin, so she's helping him out. So,
all right.
There you go.
I think we talked it out. I am so anxious for the next one. How about you, Mal?
Me too.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Boy, we are really moving through this season. So that's it. Let's wrap it up. You can find past episodes of this and all our other podcasts at
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
Find us on Facebook. Just look for Ever After, the Once Upon a Time podcast. You can email us at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at rsouthgate. Martha tweets from
at SMG Pods.
And find us on Tumblr. Find us on Pinterest. You can look for either Ever After, the Once Upon a Time podcast, or Southgate Media Group. And sometimes it's one word. Social media is funny that way. You never know which one it's going to be on. Find us on iTunes. Find us on Stitcher and any other TuneIn Radio.
Everything that starts with pod.
Everything that starts with pod, yes. And if we're not there, what should they do, Molly?
Tell us.
Right. And then that way, we can get on whatever that directory is, and then you can get it the way you like it. And please rate us and review us. It helps others find us, and it really helps us out as far as how we're structuring the show, because we love feedback. We love conversation with the fans. That's it. Now, let's end this the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end. If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.